Welcome back to My Voice. Today we're looking at the freshest faces in Boston business, young entrepreneurs. We just spoke with two young men who started an unpretentious wine magazine, and right now I'm joined by Morgan First and LeRoy J. Watkins, who have made similar moves and came up with a great idea, brought it into fruition. So thank you for joining us. We're continuing our little water party here.
We can cheers.
Cheers to starting your own business. So to begin with, Morgan, since you guys, unlike the last two, do not work in the same business,
right.
Why don't you begin
by together, but yeah.
You work together, but not in the same idea. Exactly. So tell me a little bit about Map Boston.
So Map Boston is a weekly agenda city guide. The deal is that we realize there are so many people moving to Boston or that live in Boston that get so wrapped up in their busy schedules that they don't have time to explore. So what we did was we actually combined, as you can see, a calendar, and then every week we highlight different places in Boston. And we put maps and city streets and public transportation maps in the back so that it's really easy as you're maneuvering your way around the city. You've always got a map with you. We realized there were just so many people that wanted to carry that but felt like a tourist when they were doing that. So if it was in their calendar and they were able to carry it around on a daily basis for another reason, that they were really happy to have something like that with them.
So it's an insider's tourist guide mixed with a day planner.
Yeah, it's not even for tourists. It's all the stuff is for locals. We surveyed over 1,000 people that actually live in Boston and then hit the city streets to find nothing has really changed. It's all off the beaten path, little places that people in that neighborhood would know about, so that like if you live in Charlestown but you don't know all the little neighborhood things in Jamaica Plain, you can do the planner and then you'll know them, and so you'll have a reason to go explore Jamaica Plain.
Yeah, and as you can see, this is no dorky little planner. Morgan, why don't you show this right in front of you? I mean, these are some really gorgeous
We worked really hard to make sure all the pictures are gorgeous so that it's not only something great that you're looking at, but so that it's also something that really impels you to go to the place.
Yeah.
We also worked really hard to make sure that the design was clean and trendy and young, and also something that had plenty of space for people to keep track of their schedule.
So it seems like this would be perfect for a college student.
Yeah, it's great for college students. We're actually sold in a lot of college student bookstores, so it's perfect because they can come, head in for fall, pick up their planner, then they've got their academic calendar because it actually starts in August but runs all the way through December of next year, so that if you want to pick it up in, say, December or January, you can. But it's great for students because then they've got essentially their tools to Boston.
And where are these being sold right now?
Right now they're in Borders and they're in Barnes & Noble, which was really exciting for us as a very small company. They're also in Trident, Brookline Booksmith, and Magpie, and we're selling them at the South End Open Market.
Morgan, how old are you?
I'm 23.
She's 23, and you've done all of this on your own, and it's in its second year.
Yes, it's in its second year, which is really exciting for us because last year we were kind of like, hey, we're this publication, we exist, I swear we're really cool. But this year it's been really exciting because so many people are like, wow, I remember that from last year, I loved it, and we did so much to improve this year's book that they're like, I really see how much you've improved and you've gotten so much better. Even Massar and Berkeley ordered like a chunk for their students this year.
Perfect.
And I just got phone calls from both of them like, we are so impressed. We can't wait for this to take off. So it's been really cool to go into our second year.
I'm flipping to the back page and I happen to see this thing called My Bike. Now, can you tell me a little bit about what this is?
Yes, My Bike is a completely novel, unique, revolutionary bike concept that's sweeping Boston by storm. Basically what it is, it's a company where I sell brand new mountain bikes for different price points, $90, $150, $200, and I come to your house to deliver them, and I come to your house also to fix the bikes.
Well, how could you possibly sell someone a mountain bike for $99?
Well, the cool thing is, what makes My Bike so unique is that each bike actually features a flag-like advertisement right inside the frame. So you have to imagine it's triangular, and it's nestled right in there. So a company like, let's say, Map Boston advertises with My Bike, what Map Boston pays My Bike drives the cost down to the customer.
So the advertiser gets advertising on a bike that some student or some bicycle enthusiast rides all over Boston, and then the consumer gets a brand new mountain bike for $99.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable. But then you go on to say that it's not just, you don't just get the bike, you get this service along with it?
Yeah, when people buy bikes, you can buy a bike at Target or Walmart, but what happens when the bike has a flat tire? Then what do you do? What happens if the gears start slipping? Then what do you do? There's all these after-sale things that kind of hinder people from buying bikes anymore, then they turn to Craigslist. Now, if something happens with the bike, a flat tire, they send an email inquiry to me. Me or someone else goes out to the person's place and fixes the bike. And during that time, we have some good face time with our customers. We kind of explain a little bit more about the Matt Boston advertisement inside the bike. We can tell them more about the cool things that my bike's doing, like we sell electric bikes now. And it's like a good forum for us to kind of gauge the customer's interest in my bike, if they're spreading the word on my bike, and to see if they're even enjoying my bike.
Yeah, well, what has the response been so far?
Very, very positive. We're getting a very strong response from the college students, just because they're the people that don't have the bucks to throw around to buy like the specialized $3,000 bikes, and they're satisfied with the product, and they really don't mind having an advertisement inside the bike.
Well, I was going to say, how do the advertisers feel about the service that they're getting?
Well, if I could chirp in, I think we loved having the service on the bikes because our bikes are riding around the city and everyone sees our ads, and the student who actually has the bike, LeRoy has talked to us, and also we've talked to people who actually have the bikes, and they've become a lot more aware about the brand and even have started promoting it. Like, I know a lot of people ended up picking a planner up because they had the My Bike that had Matt Boston on it, and then they were promoting it because people would say, hey, what's that on your bike? So it's been really cool.
So they took almost ownership of the brand because their bike was promoting it. That's so interesting. So tell me a little bit about, like, it seems like it's a bit like guerrilla marketing. Do you think that that has some of an effect on people who want to engage in the service? I mean, would you call it guerrilla marketing, something a little bit new, avant-garde?
To an extent, I would call it guerrilla marketing because it's kind of in your face. I'm going right to the from the client to the customer. There's no kind of go-between, and it's really in your face. And it's like a unique form of guerrilla marketing too, where you have the traditional billboards, you have the taxi cab tops. But when you see a bike, you're like, did I just see a flash of green just go right behind me? What did that bike just say? And it spikes a curiosity, and curiosity is what generates interest, and interest kind of generates notoriety, and then you have a happy client, like Motion and Fair Play.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I want to congratulate you both for doing so well. If you could give someone advice on starting their own business or running with that new idea that they have, what would you tell them?
I think it's really, really important to be confident in yourself. You have to know that you're going to be able to do this and know that you're going to be able to take the steps to do things, because if you don't have the confidence, when you go to approach someone, they'll be able to feel that you don't have that confidence, and they just won't be able to be involved with you, because they'll be like, oh, that person doesn't actually know what they're doing.
They won't believe in your
They
product.
won't believe in you. And I think the other thing is to really find a network of people that are going to be able to support you. LeRoy and I think it was a great partnership that we were able to work out, that we've got advertising on My Bikes, and then we've got an advertisement for the My Bikes and the planner. I think networking and really making friends that are going to be able to help you out and help you figure out the business world is really important. LeRoy?
Yeah, like relationships are huge because like they're highs and then they're lows. During the highs, it's easy to be yourself. You know, you're like, I'm on top of the world, but with the lows, that's the hardest part. So you have to have this concept that I kind of just made up called stickativity, where you have to kind of get to see everything to the end.
Stickativity.
Stickativity.
I mean, is that how would you describe stickativity when something's hurting you or dragging you down?
Yeah. When things are going, when you're in business and people are buying things from you and getting all the press in the world, like you're on television, it's so easy to be confident about your business. But what happens when a customer has a flat tire and they're not really a big My Bike fan for a little while? Do you kind of pack it up and go home? You're like, My Bike's out of business now? Or do you kind of work through the customer service issues, make sure they become a really good customer because you're a good company, and then once that negative turns into positive, you stuck through it. Stickativity.
That's great. Well, that's a good message to end our show on today. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but stick with us because right after this, we're going to give you the websites where you can find My Bikes and Matt Boston when My Voice returns right after this.